everyone. Welcome back to episode 15 of the Normalized Money Project and Show. Today, we are going to talk about freezing your credit to prevent identity theft. My name is Kirsten VanderJagt, and I have co-host JulieAnn Ferraro on. Julie, how are you?
Very good. Excited to be back.
Yeah, real quick before we jump into it, for everyone who is subscribed, we took off January and February and a little bit of March because we had a lot of growth in a couple different directions in the first quarter. So we're excited to be back, and we know that people are tuning in more and more. Thank you for doing that. And let's jump right into how to freeze your credit. Before we actually get into that, let's talk about why you might want to freeze your credit. So Julie, have you ever done that before?
Yes, and I've also been a victim of my identity theft. So
talk about that more. You were a victim of identity theft, and when you contact the credit bureau, so I have them up on the screen, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And guys, if you are just tuning in, you can go back through some of our previous episodes and see that we actually tell you to get a free credit report from annualcreditreport.com. And at the bottom, there are phone numbers, but here on the screen, these are the phone numbers. And so, Julie, did you call or write to them and they asked you for what?
Yeah, I called them and they put the freeze on, but they wouldn't do the alert without a police report number. So, and a police report, copy of the police report. So I eventually had to send over one, but it allows them to allow, like you know you're going to apply for something and they'll allow you to apply for it, but you're basically locking everything. Like if somebody was to go to do something with your credit, they're going to be declined. So I had to get special, instances where I was going to apply for something. I had to get it open back up for just that transaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're a police officer. Of course, you have, some information about the police reports, and it sounds like you had to get that to probably, for them to do some kind of an investigation, which is different than the actual freeze, and then the unfreeze. And so me being in the banking world, I can tell you guys, when we pull a credit report, if we see that there is a freeze, we will follow whatever steps are there to contact you and ask you if you put a freeze on there before we extend credit. And so the reason that this is really, really important in my belief is because one, if you're traveling for a long period of time, like if you're in the military or you plan to go into the military, you might want to put a freeze on your credit. And then, like Julie said, when you get back, you have to actually unfreeze your credit in some cases in order for someone to make you a new loan. In some cases, like in the case of a mortgage, it will depend on the kind of freeze for us to extend you credit. But in any case, this is something that comes to my mind about children. So if you're a parent and you want to freeze your children's credit report because you're concerned about anyone possibly taking out credit in their name, maybe that's an ex-spouse, maybe it's a roommate who you lived with, or you just have a general desire to protect their credit score and their Social Security number, you can actually freeze your child's credit report as well. If the child is under the age of 16, and then you would go ahead and unfreeze that. So, Julie, have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think that, freezing your credit is a smart thing to do in certain cases as well. When you've been alerted that, certain companies always are getting hacked and your information is out there. And if there is something that you really want to, apply for, like a mortgage or something like that, and you don't want something to happen prior to it, it's not a bad thing to have. And I think because of the fact that a lot of times we as, people, we just don't check our credit very often. And I think when we do go check it, it's when we want to apply for something and then we find out we have a big mess to clean up.
Yeah, that's never fun, having to clean up that mess, which is why right now we're looking at the cons of a credit freeze. And one of them says is It might be somewhat inconvenient because you have to remember to lift the freeze when you want to apply for credit. But that inconvenience pales in comparison to having to unwind fraud or identity theft. Right? Because that I know I've had friends that have gone through that. Luckily, I have not, knock on wood. And I just know that it has taken them like months and months. And so we don't want to lead with fear. We just want everyone who's listening to know that you can call or write to the 3 bureaus and ask them to freeze your credit if you'd like to. And then you can ask them to unfreeze it when you're ready to buy a house, get a credit card, etc. Julie, do you have anything else?
Nope. I just want to say that, you know, if you ever have a question or something's going on, you can always ask an officer in your town. And we have booklets and we have all kinds of information that we can give you that'll give you all the information and what your options are.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys found value in today's video, please like and subscribe, drop us a comment, and we will catch you on the next video. Have a great week.